Yes, Rurubele, Dumela.
Welcome back.
Rurubele as well.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We are back in Parliament and we seem to have a lot of work to do. Colleagues, not only should I welcome you, but I should also congratulate the manner in which the elections were conducted in this country. That honestly, whether people have won well or those who have not made it kahle, but the point is we as South Africans really appreciate that we are deepening our democracy, and therefore the manner in which we conduct ourselves. Gone are the days when there will be conflict in areas where we are running elections and people will be fighting over that. What we have demonstrated, even with the number of parties which participated in this election, actually shows that indeed our democracy is maturing. Congratulations, everybody, for your participation, but also congratulations to those who have made it well in these elections. Honorable members, are there any apologies? None. Honorable members, I therefore move on. Before we deal with the minutes and consider matters arising out of the minutes, allow me, honorable members, to make reference to a matter which arose at the last meeting and make a ruling on that matter. You'll recall that, honorable members, on the 6th of September, during the special meeting of the National Assembly Programming Committee, I had indicated that I would come back and deal with a matter which I promised I would rule on. It was in the context of a discussion around Judge President John Hlophe. Honorable Mkhaliphi of the Economic Freedom Front said the following, and I quote, "We must register our position as EFF that we are going to defend our own. He's a black judge whom we do understand is being persecuted under the white arrogance of the judiciary in this country," close quote. In response to the statement, Dr. Mulder of the Freedom Front said, and I quote, "I'm of the view that this platform should not allow this kind of racist utterances," close quote. At this point, there was an interjection by Honorable Ntlangwini, during which Dr. Mulder can be heard to say the words racist out of order. At the time, I ruled that Dr. Mulder should withdraw the word racist, as the manner in which the word came across could easily be perceived as being directed at the person or either Honorable Mkhaliphi or even Honorable Ntlangwini, who was speaking at the time. Dr. Mulder contended that he had intended to point out that the statement was racist and not the member. As indicated, I undertook to come back to the meeting with a ruling on the matter. Members of the National Assembly have freedom of speech in the Assembly and its committees, subject to its rules and orders. The rules themselves ensure that parliamentary proceedings can be conducted in an orderly and respectful manner. In the context of the Constitution, the rules necessarily prevent members from, amongst other things, using offensive language or imputing improper motives to other members. Now, considering the proceedings in question, the initial words of Dr. Mulder that this forum should not allow such racist utterances, followed by the word racist whilst Honorable Ntlangwini was interjecting, could reasonably be construed as referring to members in their individual capacity. It was on this basis that I ruled that Dr. Mulder should withdraw the word racist. Dr. Mulder clarified his position on this, and while I accept his explanation that he intended to point out that he was referring to the statement of Honorable Mkhaliphi as being racist, which in normal parliamentary discourse, depending on context, could be acceptable. I would like to encourage honorable members to consider how certain words, when not used with caution, can provoke division and discord. The remarks by Honorable Kalipi, on the other hand, were also provocative and potentially divisive. Honorable members, Parliament plays an important role in building an inclusive society. As members of the democratic parliament, we must be passionate and robust in bringing matters to the fore. But we must also show respect and restraint in the manner in which we interact with one another, so that we avoid incendiary interaction and rather elevate the level of debate and dialogue, which should be the hallmark of any parliament. Honorable members, I trust that this clarifies the matter, and I thank you. We now proceed to deal with issues of business for today. May we look at the agenda and see whether we're happy with the agenda. Can we consider the agenda, please? I have exactly 9 items. Any comments? None. Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, really the reason why I brought this meeting forward rather than waiting for Thursday, it is because on Thursday, we are going to have a busy day in Parliament. We actually have a session. And I thought that it would be proper that, remember that it would be the MTBPS session. And so I thought we should come together to consider the minutes of the last meeting, including matters arising, as well as the program for the term, including reports from the Bills Office and Committee section. So this document deals only with matters arising and approach to attendance by members of the public at MTBPS. So can we now look at the minutes of the meeting, colleagues? Colleagues, are we happy with the minutes as they are? If we are, can somebody adopt the minutes before we deal with matters arising from the minutes? Honorable members, may one honorable, yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to all the colleagues, honorable members present here, and the officials after a long time. I want to move that these minutes are accepted by us as a true reflection of our previous meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Machotina. Any seconders? Honorable members, any seconders for the adoption of the meeting, of the minutes?
Morning. Good morning, Speaker Steve Swarter. Good morning, colleagues. I'm not sure if I was at that meeting, but if so, I would like to move for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Swart. Thank you very much, colleagues. The minutes having been adopted, we now proceed to deal with matters arising. I have identified 3 critical matters under matters arising, colleagues. Firstly, the report of Section 25 legislation on Section 25 legislation relating to land expropriation. The second one, the removal of Judge President. And then the third one will be the ruling on use of unparliamentary language, which I have already ruled on. Would you have any other matters which are arising out of these minutes, colleagues? None. Okay, colleagues, none. I then proceed then to deal with the first item under matters arising, as I indicated, the report on Section 25 legislation. May I allow Mr. Castle to take us through on this one?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning to honorable members. Madam Speaker, before I do that, please, I beg your indulgence. I was supposed to indicate apologies, but the system failed me. Mr. Frolic, Mr. Singh, Mr. Sheikh Imam, and Mr. Hope, the three have apologized. Mr. Hope Papa was having difficulty connecting to the meeting. I'm not sure if he eventually joined. In terms of the matter, ma'am, that you asked me to speak on, the committee that dealt with Section 25 finalized its work, and the report was published. It's under further business on the order paper. I think at an appropriate time, the programming whip will indicate when the matter will be set for consideration by the House. But the issue is now before the House, not before the committee anymore. And on the issue of Judge President Shope, the matter is before the Justice Committee. And I think at the right time, the committee will come back to the House on the issue. Madam Speaker has ruled on the unparliamentary issue that had occurred at the time, and I don't wish to deal with that. I think, ma'am, those are the two issues, unless there's something I'm missing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Colleagues, I invite your comments. Are we here, colleagues? Can people hear me?
Yes, my hand is up.
Thank you very much. Please, yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that the report was published on the ATC. I think what is left for us through the programming whip and the technical team, they must just put it for consideration in the House. They will look at the dates and the suitable dates where this can be discussed in the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that is the Section 25, the work of the ad hoc committee, which you are referring to. Colleagues, are there any further comments? None. Okay. So it seems we are all happy with progress which has been made in relation to Section 25 legislation. Shall we then proceed to deal with the matter of Judge President Shope? We've just received a report from Mr. Kaso. Of course, one of the issues raised by Mr. Kaso is that the Speaker may want to use her discretion to decide on the voting method. So as things stand now, colleagues, I will provide an opportunity for the team, the legal team, together with Mr. Kaso, to take me through on this matter, so that as I apply my mind to it, I'm actually well briefed about the context within which the ruling was made. Is that agreed, honorable members?
Madam Speaker?
Yes, Kaso?
Yes, just to, thank you so much, ma'am. The issue was the matter of the legal opinion that the members had asked for. And indeed, legal services has provided legal opinion. the legal opinion is whether secret ballot should be permitted or not when the House gets to consider the matter of Judge President Shopping. That opinion has been provided. The Speaker is studying the opinion and must still be briefed thoroughly by ourselves on the matter. And then Speaker will come back to the committee to indicate what her position is on the legal opinion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Honorable members, I invite comments. None. Thank you very much. We then
My hand
proceed.
is up. My hand is up.
My hand is also up, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, Honorable Machotina, followed by Honorable Mazon, and then Honorable Swart.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And in accepting the report, I think we must have a time frame. If needs be, we can say in our next NAPC, we must get a progress on the matter so that we don't leave matters for a long time when we are supposed to decide on them. But allow me to be out of order a little bit, Honorable Speaker, that can we also be given an update on the public protector processes? How far are we on the matter? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. That will come at the end there, because I did request that if there are any matters people would like to add to the agenda, they should do so. So it will come after the consideration of draft parliamentary program. Thank you very much, Honorable Machotina. Honorable Mazon.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I think it must just be noted that every time we have a vote in Parliament that is around a slightly contentious issue, this issue of the secret ballot comes up. And we have been to court numerous times. The court has found numerous times that secret ballots are allowed. I refer most recently to the public protector's vote. I refer to motions of no confidence in presidents. And I think that we as Parliament need to look at the Rules Committee making provision for secret ballots as a part of our proceedings, as I think that the court will become annoyed with the fact that we keep turning to the court for exactly the same issue. It's delaying the inevitable. I think that we all know by now that the advice that we will get is that given the previous precedent set, we will of course be allowed a secret ballot on these issues, as we have done in the past, because they all relate to the same matter. And I'm starting to get the feeling that our Parliament is getting to the point where justice delayed is justice denied. I don't think it's fair on either party, that being the person around whom we are voting, or Parliament. And I think that it's creating great unnecessary delays. And I think that it's time now that the Rules Committee make a firm and fast decision that gets placed in the Rules of Parliament, and that we stop approaching the court for the same request on the same kind of issue. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Honorable Mazzoni. At this point, allow me to, let me allow Honorable Swart, but after Honorable Swart, then I will allow Mr. Kaso to take us through on the matter.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'm largely covered on the legal issue. I was just wondering if the Speaker would consider making the legal opinion available, but as the Honourable Mazzoni has indicated, the legal position has largely been set out already by court judgments. So I will leave it at that. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Swart. I now hand over to Mr. Kaso. Mr. Kaso, please take us through.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. The courts have pronounced themselves on the matter previously, and have given guidelines that the Speaker would use in exercising his or her discretion when a matter has to be dealt with in terms of voting. So what the legal opinion does, which the Speaker must still be briefed on properly, basically gives the background to where the issue of secret ballot comes from in instances where the Constitution is not explicit. And so the guidelines have been given. I can read them out. The guidelines that have been given by the courts before, that in exercising the discretion, the Speaker must exercise the discretion objectively, act fairly and impartially while taking into consideration the rights of all parties, act in the best interest of the National Assembly, take into account all relevant circumstances, have regard to whether the prevailing atmosphere is generally peaceful or toxified and highly charged, ensure that the voting process is not a fear or money-inspired sham, but a genuine motion for the effective enforcement of accountability. So those are some of the issues that the Speaker must take into account in making a determination on this matter. But as I indicated, honorable members, legal opinion has been provided to the honorable Speaker. We thought it was only fair that Speaker should be briefed properly on the legal opinion. Then Speaker can decide whether to make it available to this meeting or not. But by next week, I'm sure, I get the sense that by next week, the Speaker will be ready to give her indication on the matter of the opinion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Are there any further comments on the matters as reported by Mr. Kaso? It seems none. So we may then proceed. And just to say that what Mr. Kaso has said.
Madam Speaker, sorry.
Yes, Mr. Jules. Honorable Jules.
My apologies, Madam Speaker. I just struggled with this thing here. But can we just get also clarity maybe from Mr. Kaso in terms of the secret ballot, the preparedness of Parliament to have a secret ballot in our normal settings as it is currently, where people can vote from home in a virtual setting?
Thank you, Honorable Jules. Mr. Kaso?
Ma'am, in terms of virtual platforms, no, we're not there yet in terms of providing a secret ballot facility. ICT and ourselves are working on the matter. What we have currently is what we did when we elected the Speaker, being here physically to exercise that right. But virtually, no, we're not at that point.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that is understood by everybody, honorable members. If so,
Madam Speaker, Natasha's hand is raised.
Yes, Ms. Mazoni.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, once again, I offer with no prejudice whatsoever the services of the Democratic Alliance to come and explain to Parliament the way in which the secret ballot was conducted at a very successful DA Congress by using a system of SMSs sending you a secret code, which then allows you to vote. It has been used around the world at various congresses and with various political parties. I did send that outline to Mr. Kaso at the time, and I'm quite willing, I'm sure with all the documentation Mr. Kaso gets, it may have been lost, but there is an excellent online secret voting platform that can be used. And if permitted by this committee to do so, I'm more than happy to provide the information to Mr. Kaso. It is easy. It has been deemed to be free and fair by international voting delegations who have observed votes across the world. And I therefore offer that particular service once again with absolutely no prejudice and with the greatest of pleasure. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mazoni. We welcome that. I guess what we will do, we will then put in the basket all of the proposals which are coming before us on how to conduct a secret ballot electronically. So you may provide us with your experience and the IT that was used for that purpose. So, Mr. Castle, because you have been provided with a report, I'm sure you will put it together with the rest of what is before us and take us through at the next programming committee. Is that
Madam
agreed,
Speaker.
members? Yes.
Madam Speaker, just to indicate, ma'am, that indeed the info that we got from Honorable Mazone was shared with our ICT. It's been tested, and various other systems have also been tested. And the ICT has actually appeared before the ICT forum, which is chaired by House Chairperson Flolek and House Chairperson Nyambi, to present proposals on the voting system. And this committee had agreed that the matter would need to be discussed with the Chief Whips Forum and the Rules Committee, the subcommittee of the Rules Committee. And that process is underway as we speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Castle. Honorable members, are there any further comments on this matter before I close it? None. We then proceed, honorable members, on the basis that I will be briefed by the office of Mr. Castle, after which I will then come to the programming committee to give an indication of how soon we may want to do this, but also will take into consideration the matter raised by Honorable Mazon. I thank you, colleagues, on that matter. We then proceed now to deal with the matter which I have invited you in the main to this meeting for. You'll recall that, colleagues, we are due for an MTBPS this week. At some point, it was scheduled for the 4th of November, but we then had to push it to the 11th of November. So on Thursday, we will be having this important statement from the Minister of Finance. Now, what is important here, which has arisen, is that this will be conducted on a hybrid mode, and therefore it was important for us to look at, in the event we were to invite people to the gallery, how would we do that? Because we are still on hybrid, and we are at level 1 of the COVID situation. Now, we want to make a proposal to you, honorable members. And the proposal is that we should invite 35 persons to sit in the gallery on that day. And then we said we will have to do this on the basis of proportional representation. And I want to take the honorable members through to, or should I allow Mr. Castle to take us through? We are proposing 35 persons, and Mr. Castle will take us through how the allocation was done per party.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to ask my colleagues to show the document on the screen. Honorable members, that is the proposed allocation. 35, and that's the breakdown: ANC 5, DA 5, EF 5, IFP 1, and all the other parties 1. What this means is that the ANC would be entitled to invite 11 people outside of Parliament to attend, and so it goes for the DA and the rest of the parties. That is the starting point. We thought, even though the gallery can take much more than this, still adhering to the protocols, but we thought that it is necessary to start at this level and just try to be cautious about it. So that is a proposal, ma'am, that we are placing before the committee. In terms of members in the chamber, the number is still 166. And I'm happy to resend the breakdown to the honorable members, which is applicable to members. But this one is for members of the public to come and observe the proceedings on the day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Honorable members, there's a proposal for 35 minutes persons on the basis of proportional representation. Is that agreed? Let's start with that. Any comments, honorable members?
My hand is up, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, your hand is up. Yes. Yes, Chief Whip of the
Thank you very
majority.
much. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to welcome the proposal and move for adoption of this breakdown and of 35 seats for the public gallery. However, I wish to make a request that in our next NAPC, we must consider raising numbers for members to attend plenary. We still have enough space inside the chamber, so we can move up from 166. But I want to propose that we look at that for the next sittings, not for the sitting of Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. iPhone without a name. Somebody has a hand there. I'm sorry that I can't recognize the person's name.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, it's Sheikh Imam. I support the proposal of the Chief Whip. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Imam. Do we all support, colleagues, that we will have a total of 35 invitees according to proportional representation as read by Mr. Kaso, and that we will have 166 members in the House? Agreed, colleagues?
Agreed, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Colleagues,
Agreed.
Agreed. I just want to make an appeal to you, Sheikh Imam, that in future, please make sure that your gadget is identifiable. Thank you very much. May I then proceed, colleagues, to deal with the matter of okay. We now deal with the report from the committee section.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, honorable members and colleagues. Our report starts on slide number 3. On this slide, we are showing the bills that are finished by committees and are on an order paper. The next slide is slide number 6. On this slide, it is the Electoral Law Second Amendment Bill before PC on Home Affairs. The committee is going to receive briefings by the Minister on the 24th of November. The next update is on slide number 8. On this slide, it is the Protection of State Information Bill before PC on Justice and Correctional Services. The committee requested to put the matter pending until the matter is clarified as to the appropriate committee to deal with this matter. The next update is on slide number 12. On this slide, it is Cannabis for Private Purposes Bill before PC on Justice and Correctional Services. The activities planned are indicated. The committee is planning to finalize the bill on the 8th of December. The next update is on slide number 13. On this slide, it is the Traditional Courts Bill before PC on Justice and Correctional Services. The committee is planning deliberations on the dates indicated on the slide with the aim to finalize the bill on the 30th of November. The next update is on slide number 14. On this slide, it is the Pension Funds Amendment Bill before Standing Committee on Finance. The committee is planning to consider a motion of desirability on the 7th of December. And what follows, it is the instruments that will be tabled during the MTBPS. We start from slide number 16. On this slide, it is the revised fiscal framework. The committee is planning activities as indicated. The aim is to finalize the report on the 23rd of November. The next update is on slide number 17, which is the medium-term budget policy statement. The committee is planning activities as indicated on the slide. The aim is to finalize the report on the 7th of December. The next update is on slide number 18. On this slide, it is the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill. The committee is planning activities as indicated with the aim to finalize the bill on the 26th of November. The next update is on slide number 19. That is the Adjustment Appropriation Bill. The committee is planning activities with the aim to finalize the bill on the 7th of December. The next update is on slide number 21. On this slide, it is the Gas Amendment Bill before PC on Mineral Resources and Energy. The committee is planning public hearings in various provinces. And on the 30th of November, the committee will be having virtual public hearing submissions. The next update is on slide number 24. On this slide, it is Disaster Management Act before PC on COCTA. The committee had stakeholder engagement on the 7th of September and is going to schedule other activities in the new year. The next slide is slide number 26. That is a fiscal responsibility bill before Standing Committee on Finance. The committee is planning to consider the motion of the desirability on the 1st of December. Next update is on slide number 27. That is National Health Insurance before PC on health. The committee is planning further deliberations on the 30th of November and also in December. The next update is on slide number 30. On this slide, Madam Speaker, we are indicating the progress made with the NHI processes. We can report that the process has been completed. The overall draft report is ready. The committee is now busy with the virtual public hearings, which will add to the report. The next update is on slide number 32. On this slide, it is the Economic Regulation of Transport Bill before PC on Transport. The committee is planning deliberations during the month of November with dates indicated. The next update is on slide number 33. On this slide, it is National Road Traffic before PC on Transport. The committee is planning deliberations on the 7th of December. The next update is on slide number 36. On this slide is Expropriation Bill before PC on Public Works and Infrastructure. The committee has completed public hearings in various provinces. The committee is going to consider public participation report on the 17th of November and also responses on the 24th. The next update is on slide number 37. Slide number 38. Okay. Sorry, it looks like there is something wrong, Madam Speaker. We can move to slide number 47. Yeah, on this slide, it is the statutory appointment before PC on communications, the filling of position for the SABC board members. The committee is planning deliberations on the outcome of the interviews on the 18th of November with the aim to finalize the report on the 23rd of November. The next update is slide number 48. It is also the statutory appointment before PC on communications, the filling of position for MDDA board. The committee is going to deliberate on the outcome of the interviews on the 12th and the 18th of November with the aim to finalize the report on the 23rd of November. The next update is slide number 51. On this slide, it is public service and administration. PC1 public service and administration is also the statutory appointments, the filling of positions for public service commission. The committee is still to schedule this matter. Next update on slide number 54. On this slide, it is the inquiry into violence and looting in Gauteng and KZN by the PC on police. The committee has planned activities as indicated on the slide. The next updates on slide number 56. On this slide, it is appointment to the information regulator before PC on justice and correctional services. The committee has planned the shortlisting activities, interviews, and also the consideration of the report on the 23rd of November. The next update is on slide number 57. That is also the statutory appointments for the judges. The matters before PC on justice and correctional services. The committee has planned activities with the deliberations on the 7th and the 10th of December, and further activities will be scheduled. The next update is on slide number 61. On this slide, it is a petition from Greater Taung, including Tlapeng, before PC on public works. The committee is planning briefings on the 1st of December. This concludes our report, Madam Speaker. Kialebo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tao. Colleagues, are there any comments on the matters presented by Mr. Tao? Now, I see the hand of
My hand is.
Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in accepting the report from Mr. Tau, I just want to request that in our next meeting, the committee section must assist us in terms of the time frames, especially on matters that have court ruling, like the Electoral Amendment Act, as well as the Children's Act. Are we still within a time frame so that we don't relax when in fact will be expected to have finalized those pieces of legislation? So I want to request that in our next meeting, we're just given clear time frames as to say by when should we have completed this as Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Machotina. I see the hand of Honorable Kalipi.
And Ndiabulela Speaker. Hey, I was having a trouble with the network. I wanted to comment as early as per your ruling, but again, we are going to process our standpoint on those two matters at a committee level in order for me not to take back the meeting. I had to change the place in order for me to reconnect to a meeting. I just want to get two clarities in terms of the committee section report here. The one is the one that the Chief Whip of the Majority Party is seeking. I think that the Social Development Portfolio Committee is all over the country trying to finish that Children's Amendment Act. So if you can get a clarity on that one. The second point, I don't know, especially the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, if she can help. You know, Madam Speaker, when we're busy with elections, when we have hectic schedule, busy with elections, the SADC They were calling meetings left and right. And I didn't know whether the South African Parliament have not advised SADC PF that we are busy with elections and we can't even concentrate because we are doing door-to-door, we're persuading our people to go and vote. But they are scheduling meetings over the meetings. So I don't know where to have this thing to be captured and to be dealt with, because it was really disturbing. And some of the things that were dealt by SADC was very important. For instance, the GPV model law, that is one of our main focus as South Africans. But I mean, not to be given an opportunity as South Africans, it was very painful. So I don't know, Speaker, where can we locate that matter and where can we will also fix that, because it must not even happen again. Thank you very much, Speaker. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhaliphi. Secretary of Parliament, are you here? Ms. Kiawa, are you here?
Ma'am, I suspect she's not here. She had connectivity issues earlier on. So I don't think she managed to connect.
If I may say, Mr. Castle, I do not expect any of the officials, starting from the acting secretary down, to have connectivity problems when we have a programming committee. A person should find a place convenient for her or for him to log in, because for me, the programming committee is a very important forum where we discuss this, particularly because we have a session on Thursday, and I did make it clear to all of you that the reasons why we decided we should convene this meeting. So just for, if you could just sort that one out, please. Honorable members, I did not, let me first allow Mr. Kasa to talk to the matter of social development as raised. I would have wanted the acting secretary of Parliament to talk to the issue of SADC PF, but also I think one of the things, I'm sorry, it was a mistake on my side. We indicted Sinodi, the deputy speaker, is out of the country, hence his absence at this meeting. Thank you very much. You may proceed, Mr. Honorable Hendricks. Honorable Harif Hendricks. No, sorry, we can hardly hear you. There's a problem with your... No,
comes, but I'd like to thank the Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the possible concerns about the Children's Act and other acts where we are supposed to introduce legislation or amendments. Another one I would like to add is the Muslim Marriages Act. The deadline is in September. And like the Chief Whip, we would like to hear from the relevant people responsible that we are on track to meet the ruling of the Supreme Court of Appeal on the Muslim Marriages Act. And maybe just an idea, it'd be nice if members can get an idea of Honorable Chief Whip, and we know what our commitments are as Parliament. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Colleagues, are there any further comments? Mr. Kaso, would you like to comment on the matter of the Children's Act?
Ma'am, yes, as Honorable Mkalipi has indicated, the committee is busy with public hearings and would request that next week the committee section should give a concrete report in terms of how long that process will take and by when the committee is likely to report to the House. I did not hear properly Honorable Hendricks what he was saying, but the matter about the Muslim Marriages Act, legal services could comment on that matter, Madam Speaker. And Speaker, just to say that I believe that Acting Secretary is now on the platform.
Thank you very much. Acting Secretary.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker.
There's a matter here which was raised, Acting Secretary, which relates to the SADC Parliamentary Forum and how people were expected to interact with that forum, even though people were campaigning. Do you have any explanation for that?
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I do wish to apologize. I did lose connection. I've been on the meeting throughout the morning. It's one of those things. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, indeed, we formally wrote to the SADC SG and explained to them they had subcommittees running on human resources, financial and legal, even on the 1st. And we wrote to them to say the month of October is going to be completely impossible for our members to attend. Unfortunately, they continued and they held their meeting on the 5th of November of these 3 subcommittees. And I must say, Honorable Speaker, again, we notified them that this whole week, members will only be coming and being active from like yesterday. I must say that communication went in letters and in emails to the office in Namibia. Unfortunately, where they moved around committee meetings, it still impacted on our members. We're having another meeting of the clerks on Friday, but I do know that there's an ESCO speaker again on Friday and Saturday, but we will raise it again at the ESCO for them to honestly consider those meetings. And unfortunately, even on public holidays, like if there is country holidays like Freedom Day or something like that, SADC doesn't take that into consideration. And the argument of SADC PF is that it means they will not operate because member countries have got various holidays and various days for their countries, from their countries. However, Honorable Speaker, I must say, we have communicated with them. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kiawa. Colleagues, I'm sure you've noted what Ms. Kiawa has raised, and that is work continues in spite of the fact that they had notified the Secretariat, and that of course there will still be more meetings. So unfortunately, it seems it's something which we have no control over. But I think what is important, which is being raised here, Ms. Kiawa, is that our stakeholders, those who we interact with on a regular basis, should be alerted to challenges which we have timelessly, so that there is no expectation that honorable members will participate at that forum. So that's the one issue. And then the second one, which has been raised, is the Muslim marriages, which was raised by Honorable Hendricks. Mr. Castle, would you like to respond to that, or somebody from the legal team?
Yes, ma'am. Advocate Adhikari is on the platform. Advocate Adhikari.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Honorable Speaker, colleagues. The Muslim Marriages Act,
Advocate Adhikari.
We can't hear her. We can't hear. He's right in the deep hole. We can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Get closer to your gadget, please, Advocate.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good morning once again. The Muslim Marriages Act is a Supreme Court of Appeal judgment, so there's no constitutional court deadline. In respect of all the other matters, we are preparing a full report before next week's committee meeting with all the deadlines. The only one that's of concern at this point is the Electoral Amendment Act. So together with Speaker and the leadership, we have been in touch with the minister responsible through the committee and leader of government business. So we are trying from our side to manage the timeline. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Advocate. Thank you. This also applies to the Electoral Act, colleagues, because this is a matter which has been raised with me by the media. And the report we have given is that the Minister of Home Affairs is dealing with the matter. And once the matter is brought to Parliament, we'll be seized with it. But for now, I know that it is a matter which is still being handled at the level of the Department of Home Affairs. And once that happens, the minister will be expected to present it to Cabinet. And once Cabinet adopts, then we will bring it here for a discussion. So I'm just saying all of those matters are matters which are receiving attention. We are following on these matters on a regular basis, colleagues. Shall we then proceed if there are no other comments? Any comments, colleagues? Are there any? No. No hands. Okay, then we proceed to deal. Hello, somebody's trying to speak here. Hello? Yes, we can see you, madam.
Ma'am is the next presenter. Will be speaking on bills. Tobile.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Tobile.
Good morning, Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Good morning, Honorable members. Sorry, Speaker.
Are there any comments on the matters which have been raised? Any further comments before we proceed to Ms. Tobile to present on the bills? None. Thank you very much, colleagues. We proceed. Ms. Tobile Mbata.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. On our report today on bills before Parliament, on Section A, we've got 6 bills that are on the order paper for consideration. Of the 6 bills on item 5, the committee reported on the 10th of September on the 2nd special appropriation bill. The bill is scheduled for 2nd reading on the 16th of November. And on item 6, the Constitution 18th Amendment Bill